Hello. Welcome to How to Say Things That Matter Better. This session is just a little bit of a provocation, I think. Some things that I've been learning, some things that I would love to share with you about how to take this beautiful, wonderful message that we have been made custodians of. You know, we're custodians of the message. Jesus has delegated authority to us to be able to get this beautiful, wonderful, hope-filled message out to the rest of the world. And so that's what I'm bringing to you today, a little bit about what I've learned, a little bit about what I'm still learning. So if you are joining, whatever time you join, I've popped a little bit of a comment inside. Let's go around the room, say hello, tell me where you're watching from. This is my living room. I have tried to find a space today. So yeah. We're all in it, and I'm so grateful that you have joined me and you have dropped by, you've given up your time to listen. So let's get into it. Yeah, we've been made custodians of the most important message that needs delivering to the world. You know, we're not postmen, but we're kind of like postmen. We're posties. You know, like we've taken on this opportunity. The moment that you follow Jesus, you say, right, I'm going to follow you. You become somebody who wants to be a disciple and somebody who wants to disciple others. Hello, Ben. Hello, Monique. Hello, James. Hello, Catherine. Welcome to this. Jesus cared about that message. I mean, there's this beautiful image at the minute that's flying around the internet that is it's like an infographic of all the cross references of what Jesus said and how it cross referenced things in the Old Testament that had already happened before, words that were spoken, prophecies that were out, and how he managed in his life on earth to cross reference it. He was careful about the message of being that when he was the carrier of the message, we're custodians. He is the message. So from the moment that we're born, our heartbeat, the moment that we come out, we have this inbuilt need to communicate. The very first thing that babies want to do is to lock eyes on another human being, to connect, to communicate. And I just think that social media is just exactly that. It's what humans have been doing since the beginning of time. It's chatting to each other, talking to each other. Hello, Gillian. Hello, Rachel. Hello, James. I've not said hello to you all. Welcome, welcome, welcome. It's a development, isn't it, right? It's a development of the oldest communication tool that there is humans talking to other humans. And I have been learning a lot this year. I have been trying to sit and be a learn-it-all and not a know-it-all when it comes to communication. We're in such a huge change and shift and massive difference in the way that we're all learning to communicate. And just so you know, I'm not an expert. I am learning just like you are, but some things that I've learned recently over on TikTok, I wanted to share with you because I think this thing that we've got, the message, hopeful message of Jesus Christ, is the most important message the world needs. So, like whether you do it directly as a preacher or pastor, or whether you embody Christ and you want to share that message there, I think we can all agree as Christians, we want to share that message better because it matters. So hence the title, How to Say Things That Matter Better, but digitally. I mean, it's pretty obvious when you say it like that, but bit of a mouthful of a message there. I've learned more on TikTok this last year than I've learned anywhere else on communicating. I started becoming a TikTok creator, which is my main platform. I know for many of you might be a bit freaked out by TikTok, but can I just tell you, there is the most sweetest, when you stay on the right side of TikTok, most interesting, useful, friendly app I have ever been on, and the easiest to grow on as well. And I've had some amazing experiences over the last year of going viral a number of times now, and I learned a lot from it. I learned about what people want. I learned about what people really want to hear from us, and they really do want a lot of joy, and they really do want entertainment, and they really do want a life that's better, and they really do want to learn about the aspirational side of life. And so, which is why over on TikTok, and it's moving now over onto Reels, the infotainment industry is crushing it. People who can take something that is information rich and interesting and nerdy and all detailed and leveled, and break it down and make it into little snackable chunks, just like Jesus did when he got up on the Sermon on the Mount and when he walked through the crowds and he spoke to people. He took old stories that had been out. Jesus, whenever he said something, he always took something that had already been said and reshaped it and reformed it and repackaged it for a new group of people and a new audience. And that's the story that's traveled, right? That's the one that's really had the impact, is how Jesus transformed something that was like a message that we all knew and had, and he recurated it for a new audience, which is what we're all trying to learn to do over here. Let me tell you about, before I get into like some tips about the hook, I'm going to talk to you about a number of different things that hook people. Mainly I'm going to talk about video. Try to decide, do I talk about posts, do I talk about videos? I'm going to mainly talk about video because I think video, it's king. Video is king everywhere. It's the best format that you have to get content to people. I don't know why we would spend more time on anything else, but like everybody else, I'm not a filmmaker. I'm not an like a videographer. I'm not an editor. I'm just learning. I'm a mom at home in my kitchen very often creating content. And so TikTok taught me this. I've recently gone viral. I've got some notes here, so I'll just keep going back to them because otherwise I'll just get too excited and I'll forget to tell you all the important things. TikTok is a super exciting platform when you go viral, and it happens. A lot of people will experience that you've been able to go viral. But let me tell you what happens first of all, what it feels like. It feels like at first anything's possible. Like you can communicate this thing that I have. Oh my gosh, it opens up so many possibilities. Less of like the how do I manage this, and more of like how do I do more of this so I can get this message out much, much further. And then my excitement turns to panic, because usually I think, why are so many people watching this? Did I do something wrong in the video? Like, did I leave something inappropriate out? Did I like say something that was wrong? Is there like something that people are making fun of me for? And very often these things begin to go around your head once you have gone viral. And it turns out, why are people tuning in to listen to this? And it turns out most of the time they're tuning in because they just like it. It's like, the things that you think surely people aren't going to want to know about this boring stuff about life or about me or about being a mum or about, my everyday. But the more I put out my everyday, the more I'm finding, especially young teenagers, just want to be able to be a part of it. Like the auntie that they never had, or the auntie that they wish they had. And so I thought it was just going to be a one-off that I would go viral. And then it started happening again. So this is how it works for me over on TikTok at the moment. I'm only telling you this so that it frames the other things that I'm going to talk about afterwards. And I want you to know, like, it's possible for every single one of you to build a TikTok following right now. At the moment, if you wanted to, it's the only platform that's available to you that you would be able to grow in the first 6 months to 20, 30,000 followers, get your content out to thousands and thousands. And like I've been able to do millions at the moment. It's about 1 million people a month see my content. Oh my gosh. it's totally bonkers, and I have no idea like why they keep tuning in to watch me, but they do. So this is what I've learned though from that, is that the method at which we have available to us at the moment of a physical location, or even just the current methods that we're using, are limiting our ability to get the gospel out to as many people as possible. And TikTok has shown me that for free, there is an app out there who will take your content and send it out to immediately, every time you post, 100 brand new people that have never ever seen your content before. You see, now on Instagram, you don't even get your content out. You might say you've got 1,000 followers or even 500 followers. Maybe 5% of those people the algorithm will send your content to. And then depending on how they react, depends on whether anybody else sees it. But there is pretty much, apart from Reels, zero chance of going viral for the everyday person on Instagram, because there are way more creators on Instagram than there are consumers. But on TikTok, there are way more consumers than there are creators. So there's way more eyes, there's way more hearts, there's way more beating hearts to get that message to. And so I've learned a lot over there. I've learned that going viral and being on TikTok brings two camps, the lovers and the haters. Like, I kind of like wasn't sure how I was going to react to that. I don't mean trolls, there's trolls everywhere, and we will get to trolls another time. But the lovers and the haters, people who absolutely love what you do and people who are just like, meh, you're boring, you've wasted my time. And like I'm like so learned to be so grateful for them both. Because for me to be able to communicate better, I need to know, I can't just have people telling me I'm good all the time, which is why I think that likes are the most lowest form of metric that we should ever be following on any platform. Likes are vanity metrics, because likes just tell you, like, it just doesn't help you get better. It's like it's the least effort that anybody needs to take is to like your content. What I want to be able to grow and learn and develop is, would somebody want to watch that again? Would they want to save it for later, like a library resource? And would they want to share it with a friend? And then I know that the message that I have delivered has been so useful and so helpful that it is going to be passed on to somebody else, because I really want to be able to help people find and follow Jesus. And I really want to help people to be better disciples of Christ. So following me and following along and liking my content is, I think, probably become the least important thing that I will measure. The most important thing that I want to measure is, did somebody save it? Was it useful enough for them to want to refer back to? Did they share it with a friend? Did it prompt them enough, like, to go and tell somebody else about that thing that I've done? Not just because it's advertising something, but because that moment of, like, usefulness that I shared with them, they wanted to share with their friends. And it's a mix of that on my content, but I'm trying to get better at creating content that is savable and shareable, constantly adding value. I do not want to waste people's time. When somebody picks up their phone and they scroll onto Instagram, I want to make sure that I'm making the best use of their time, because I really want to be able to help them, guide them. And like the Bible has shaped me and shaped my character, I want to be able to introduce them to this friend that I know called Jesus, and hopefully they will be able to connect the two things together as well. So it's really hard to imagine. The other thing that I found from going viral was that the bigger the number, we all want those bigger numbers, and we're, like, often looking for those things, because the thing that we carry, this custodian that we are, the custodian of the message, it's so important, and we feel so deeply about it that when we give it to other people, we want them to really value it. One thing I found was that I actually preferred to be able to interact with a smaller number of people. It sounds crazy, doesn't it? Because you're like, yeah, I want bigger numbers, the metrics, we've all got, like, these KPIs we've got to follow, and are we growing, and are there more numbers coming through? But the more I go viral, I have probably, I don't know, 7 videos at over 7 million, 2 million, 7 million, no, not yet, over 2 million, another sort of 7 that are around 1 million, and then anything down there, I've got 700,000, 500,000. So all these people are brand new people that are viewing my content. And I realized that it's very, very, very hard to imagine them as people when the numbers get bigger. And that was a little bit concerning for me, because I wanted to be able to still build community and connect with people and befriend people. And so that's why I know that the views and the likes just do not help you necessarily disciple people, but they are like a bridge building. So the things that you do invite people into his story, and he will call them and speak to them. And Jesus is so very good at drawing people close to him, with or without social media, by the way. With or without social media, it's just that we're on it. And if we're on it, we should make a healthy contribution to it. Okay, let's talk about Hook. I learned a lot from that. Anyway, basically, I learned a lot from there. From all those numbers, and I learned that what I appreciated more were the times when I could be one-on-one with people, smaller numbers. And I'm not just saying that, it doesn't feel the same. You can't imagine 1 million people, but I totally can imagine 100. So whenever you have content that you want to say that really matters, that's really important, never, ever, ever underestimate, like, how important it is that you know that 100 people or 50 people or 20 people, because if 20 people walked into the room right now, even though it doesn't feel like a lot of views, if 20 people walked into the room right now to want to speak to you about that thing that you just shared, you would think that was amazing. If 100 people turned up in a room and you had a meeting and you were able to talk to them, remember what that feeling is like, the buzz of it. But it's very hard to connect with that many more people. That being said, do think it's great to go viral for Jesus, and I will carry on like creating content that gets them spread out. But most of what I want to do is to create shareable, helpful, hope-filled content that helps people to find and follow Jesus. Right, let's talk about hooks, because that's really what I want to talk to you about today, to like pad that out. A hook is something interesting that happens right at the start of the video. It's the beginning of your video that draws in your viewers. You don't have to create expensive, like, you know, Super Bowl worthy, like amazing starts, crash bang wallop. You just literally need to get people, why would they watch in that first 1 second? What's the first thing that you want to say to them? And anything that's unnecessary is where you are going to create more views on anything that you do, if you can just ditch the stuff that's unnecessary in the videos that you're making. And if you want to get your content out further, there's a few things that you can do. Ultimately, nothing beats connection. You don't even have to have polished content. You don't even have to have the best videos, the best lighting, the best sound. You just have to have something that is a corporate point, a joint point of pain. One of my very first viral videos on TikTok was about grey hair. And like the reason why is because when I posted it, we were right at the start of the very first lockdown globally. So women in Russia couldn't have their hair dyed. Women in Australia, women in America, women in South America couldn't have their hair dyed. So loads of them were actually tuning in to watch my content because we had a point of pain. And so I'm connecting with them on a really basic level, but I know what I want to do with that is build a relationship with them and present to them all the things that I found helpful over time. So I'm not just talking about my grey hair now, but it was a really useful opportunity to meet them where they are, and it was not very well filmed and not very well lit, and really, to be honest with you, I don't think it was a great video, but they seem to like it. So if you want to get your content out further, if you want to say things that matter better, you need to get into using hooks. I've been practicing with a variety of hooks, and these are the ones that I found work the best. And every single one of my videos that's gone viral, that is over 1 million, has one of these hooks in it. So let's quickly get through them. I'd seen it work for others. I don't want to manipulate people with my content, that's for sure. But one thing I do really want to do is to make the best use of the resources that have been afforded to me, because I really believe in being a custodian of this message, and I am not tied to the method. The method will come and go over time. Historically, we have found the method of getting messages out change everywhere in communication. So the message is never going to change. I am not deconstructing the local church. I love the local church. I think this is the best addition to what we have been given and afforded in a long, long time. So let me tell you firstly what puts people off instantly, what will make people scroll off your content that I have learned the hard way, because I still try it. I try these things to see if they really, really work. And this is, if you want your video to somebody to scroll off it, not stay on it, you need to keep saying these things, but I'm pretty sure you're not going to want to say these things. I've just popped on to say, people will scroll past. I've been meaning to do this for ages. They don't care. They're just glad you showed up. Hello, I'm sorry if I'm taking up your time today. Why would they listen to you if you're apologizing for even being in their space? Like, when you come into a confident conversation with somebody, you don't apologize for being there. Christians do that all the time. There's nothing apologetic about the gospel. It's just the best message that has ever been told. Eliminate where you can, in the start of your videos, that long drawn out hello. Try to avoid saying things that might make you sound like you're not interested, you can't be bothered, you didn't get round to it. Like, and also if you're putting together a collection of videos, just help you to know, like, I've seen a lot where there's collections of things and everybody reintroduces themselves. Honestly, most people are not interested. They can't learn all your names anyway. Imagine when you go into a group of people for the first time and people try and say, and this is Jeff, and this is Sandy, and this is whatever. And the person that's been introduced is like, in their head, they're going, there's no way I can remember all those names. but it doesn't matter. They look like a nice person, so I'm going to listen to them. You don't need to say people's names all the time. You don't need to do that. The content and the message are the things that are the most important and most valuable. And also the other one that is sure to get people to scroll is lots of people have been asking me, like, unless you have an incredibly huge following, really what you mean is one person asked me and I tried to, I just really wanted to talk about something, so I'm going to talk about it. So just do that. Okay, hook. Here's some things that you can hook. Hook number one, this is what I've learned. Introduce a problem, promise a solution. Create a moment where others see you as helpful and you've won the first battle and the road to winning them over. If you're doing this, so my most recent viral video went viral just before Christmas and ended up being a crazy, ridiculous success. I was in pretty much every daily newspaper in every country that there was. I don't know why, it was just things other than I experimented with a hook. The video that I actually created, I created 3 scripts for, and I decided on this one script because it was a hook that I'd never used before. And it said, and I told the viewer, I said, if you're doing this with your fairy lights, you're doing it wrong. And then I posed them with a problem that I thought that they all would have. And then I gave them what I thought was the best solution. Well, it seems that people are quite, particular about the way that they want to do their fairy lights. And it went really crazy viral. Like I said, in everything, in the Fox News, Lad Bible, I mean, everywhere. You Google Clare Hooper Christmas lights, it comes up in a ridiculous number of countries and languages, and it's out there. But you see, it's a villain. It's the common villain that we're identifying when you're trying to create a hook in a video, because we want people to watch the content. It's easy to assume that the thing that you've got to say is really important, but framing it right is really important too. Jesus walked through the marketplace on purpose. He could totally have sat in the synagogue if he'd wanted to. He had enough miracles, enough in the bag, but he didn't. He chose to walk through the marketplace. He chose to speak in stories that were specific to the language of the time, that were very culturally relevant, as did then he taught his followers to do the same. So we should do the same. Number 2, start with a story. Hook number 2, this works every single time. No hello, no nothing. Just start with a story. Every good story has a beginning, a middle, an end. And if you can craft a hook in a story, that once upon a time feeling, you'll get your viewers hoping to find out what happened at the end of the story. And I made one over lockdown the same. That's actually my highest viewed video. It's even though it didn't get picked up by any local press. I think it's at 2.6 million now, the views on it. And my opening line was this: tragically, my glasses broke over lockdown. And that story was enough to get people to want to watch the whole thing. And I took them through my day of buying a pair of glasses, and it's crazy. It's 22 seconds long, but I buy a pair of glasses. My glasses are broken. They're all got gaffer tape on. And anyway, so that hook works really well. Number 3, right. You have to, honestly, if I could leave you with anything today that you remember to do, it's this. You have to use text on your videos. It's gone are the days when it's just audio, when you hope that the visual is going to get people to watch. Most people, I think it is crazy, over 85% of people watch on Instagram their videos with the sound off. They just watch. So if you haven't got closed captions or subtitles or some way of talking about what it is that you're talking about, that's it. They're just going to scroll because they can't read, and people have gotten used to it. It's my daughter, who is 14, cannot even watch Netflix now without closed captions on, because that's how common it is for people to be using closed captions to use. That is the generation that we're in. You cannot get away with it anymore. And especially on all your church things, everything needs some sort of way of identifying what it is that people are saying. Every single video of mine that's gone viral, of all of the 14 now that are over either from 700,000 up to 2 million, the common denominator is that I have done a narration, and along with that narration, I have done closed captions. Yes, subtitles on Netflix, please. Right. Right, stronger network. Everybody watches the things with subtitles on now. You cannot go back from that. There's loads of things that you can use. Here's the 3 things that I use to help you. I use 3 things. Again, remember, I am not a videographer. I have no editing skills. I am learning this like you are, but there are so many brilliant things out there for you. Threads is an app that's been developed by Instagram, which if you're recording a video just like this, you as a selfie sort of video, you can record directly and it gives you 15 seconds and it will give you auto closed captions that you can edit. That's number 1. Number 2, for £9 a month, you can sign up for something called Veed.io. It is not just a video editing platform. It's like a Canva for video. It's very, very early in its development. It's got a lot of beta testing on there, but I'm really loving it. We've been with them for about 6 months now. It's about £9 a month, and it will do closed captions. You can upload brand guidelines. You can have different packages that you do, but it's very, very similar to Canva for video. If you imagine it like that, it's not like a Premiere Pro. It's not like, but yeah, closed captions. So Veed.io, I use it. It's not a pro thing. It's for the everyday person. So if you're there's no excuses now not to be putting closed captions on things. It is an essential, in my opinion, and in the watcher, because the reason why we create content is not for us, is it? We create content for our audience because we're servants of the community. One of the things I love, I went to my brother's ordination a couple of years ago. He is being ordained in the Anglican Church. And one of the things that he was required to say was that to be able to submit to being a servant of his community. And I do think that some of the evangelical Pentecostal church thing has been lost a little bit when we want people to come to us, adapt your life, behavior modification, come see the big church on the hill, come see what we're doing, here's our invitation. And I think there needs to be a move in this digital age. I think the church of the future needs to be much more proactive in being servants of the community by serving them with things that serve them and help educate them. Some of the most brilliant educational tools are available to us on social media. They're not anywhere else. Where do you go when you want to learn something? YouTube. Where do you want to go when you want to find out something, a recipe or something? Pinterest. Where do you go when you want to, now actually TikTok is going to become a search engine as well. TikTok is going to become a short form version of YouTube. People are going to be able to search. In fact, actually Instagram has just launched SEO in your captions as well. You can put alt, you can, it's not rolled out everywhere, but it will be soon. You will be able to search keywords because Instagram wants to be a search engine, because people this year are going to choose their platforms. And so the more you can do things with a hook. So those are the 3 hooks so far. So we've done introduce a problem, provide a solution, start with a story. Follow the best storyteller there was, Jesus. I mean, the story that's outlasted every single other story in the world is the story of Jesus' birth. And why? But why did it outlast? Because it had everything. It had a villain, it had a baby, it had romance, it had bling, it had everything. It had animals, it had the most perfect elements of a story. And do you think that God did that by accident? No way. He created a story that would last and retell it. So get into that nitty gritty, get into figuring out how to tell stories better. Use text to reach your audience. You got room for some more? Okay, come on. What time is it? Oh, we're good. Number 4, provide instant value. What do I mean by that, right? Don't make people wait for what it is that's in the video. Tell them instantly what your video is about. I've been trying this now. So my most recent video that I put out was about making a hot drink. And I'm using this example. You need to know I am learning on TikTok by creating content that's really easy to create so that I can learn everything, bring it into my church head and my church world, and translate all of those things my findings, and put them into church things. So I'm figuring out what works, because it is a little bit different on creating personal content and branded content. Those 2 things are a bit different. We haven't got time to get to that today, but provide instant value. So my most recent video that's performing reasonably well, we're about 10K on it at the moment, whereas I teach people how to make a London fog. So I say, this is what I say straight away. In this video, I take 2 seconds to tell them what the video is about. I'm going to teach you how to make a London fog with Earl Grey tea, milk, and hot water and honey or something like that. Anyway, it's really simple because I've told them why it's worth watching the video. YouTube is what we're starting to do on our YouTube account for church. It'd be worth you, if you have time, to just drop onto Kingdom Company to see what I'm talking about, because we're really experimenting with a lot of these hooks. We've done 6 weeks now on YouTube, me and Matt, and we have been trying to work out what would work digitally for digital vlogger style church. And we don't have a broadcast opportunity. We don't have a church. We went to church plan. Feel it with me, people. We went to church plan, and our launch Sunday was the 29th of March, 2020. I know, like literally, what was that, 5 days after the national lockdown. So we never made it to launch. So we had to pivot, move everything online, but it kind of afforded us an opportunity because we didn't have a gathering. We didn't have to recreate a gathering online. We were able to really try and like dig and learn, and we're still learning about what works. So go over and have a look and see what we're doing. I really think we're at the start of something interesting. I really think there's a lot we could still learn. Oh, thank you, Stronger Network. You've just put that on YouTube channel. You're the best. So go and have a look. I am picking that up because I really do think we're onto something. We're working with a number of people, getting some advice, working with some YouTube coaches, working with somebody who's really good with YouTube, helping us, teaching me and Matt how to vlog. I mean, like, it's not something I ever thought I would be doing. I was church pastor, and then I was an art teacher, and now here I am finding myself having to learn how to vlog. It's the modern world. So you might think that's crazy. Let's go back to that final hook, providing instant value. Why do I tell them what the video is about? You might think that's crazy because normally you've been taught in church to, if you're telling a story, let the suspense build, and we're going to do a promo, and then at the end we're going to tell them what this new theme is that we're doing. It's just, when you're sat in a room and you have people's attention, you can do so many different things, but you can't do that on social media because people they can't leave the room. Like when they're sat in front of you, people will watch all sorts just for something to do at the weekend, and come out and they'll put up with all sorts in churches just because they want to be with the people and they want to be in church and they want to be doing that thing. And so don't be fooled into thinking that people sit through our church services and really enjoy what's going on. It's the best that they've got. And actually, I would say the same, like even our services, it's just the best that we can do with what we've got, with what God's gifted us in the mix, and we're just doing our best. But digitally, these things do not work. You have to hook people right at the beginning of your video if you want to get this custodian, this thing that you've been given out into more people. So tell them in the first 2 to 3 seconds what your video is about. And every video I've done that with is just done really, really well. So number 6. So use the word you. People love looking at photographs of themselves. They love being spoken to like they're you. Just remember that when somebody watches something, they're not tending to be watching it in a group of people. They're watching it as an individual. So if you speak to them as though like it's them, like you, if you use the word you in the first second, I think it's a crazy amount. You've 70% more chance of people watching your video. The data, I'm rubbish at data statistics. I can find that if you really want me to. It's lots and lots of studies have been done around words that work for hooking people in. And then if you can use the word you can use it twice in the first 4 seconds, people are more likely to watch your video because they genuinely believe you're speaking to them, because so many videos start about me. Hello, thank you for joining me here. Like I think I even said that, but but if you can script things and remember to say you. So why does this work? Because it makes them feel important. And ultimately, like when you have been invited into the palm of somebody's hand, it is an absolute privilege. It is a joy. It is a privilege. It is an honor that people have taken the time to open up their phone and scroll over your content. We want to add value. We're not about building empires. We're about building kingdom. And so if you feel like that sort of stuff is a struggle for you to be a servant, I would maybe want you to think about why you were on social media. Like, I'm just going to ask it. I'm going to put it out there. What metrics are really important to you? Why are you like so bothered about the likes? Why are you so bothered about the numbers? Would you turn up and would you deliver that content regardless of how many people show up? I think it's a really important question for us to be asking. But if you really do want your content to get further, then take the time to discuss and go through the analytics, not because of metrics, but I've been using the analytics, especially on YouTube, because they're brilliant analytics, to teach me about my stuff that I need to change and get better at. My videos, I think I'm going to do this video, it's going to last. The watch time tells me how long people have watched for. 1, 2, 3 seconds. What did I do at 3 seconds? So I watch back the video to 3 seconds and I go, yeah, I can see why you scrolled off. But I remember how I was feeling. Yeah, it was a bit boring. Yeah, the sound was a bit off. Yeah, I can see why you've scrolled on. So what I can then do is reflect on that, and I can learn from that, and I can then like change and adopt a new method, and I can try and eliminate those things. Most of them are about my insecurities, my ego. Most of them about the way that I was feeling. Can I put myself aside? I love the way traditional model of priestly serving is, where being, like I said before, being servants of the community, where I bring myself in service to you. I bring myself to lead you. I'm Jesus as the servant leader. And so I think we really have an opportunity in social media to use analytics and metrics and hooks and all these things to help us to serve the community like living stones, like it says in Peter. We've got plenty of time. Like it says in Peter, the stone, welcome the living stone, the source of life. The workman took one look and threw it out. God set it in place of honor. That's our Jesus. Present yourselves as building stones for the construction of the sanctuary, vibrant with life, in which you'll serve as holy priests, offering Christ-approved lives up to God. And you don't have to say everything in one video, because your whole life becomes a message, which is what I love about TikTok. Is like it's a library, it's a bank of resources, it's an opportunity to build up evergreen content to refer people back to, so you can constantly be reshaping, refocusing what's the message I can go through. You can still follow patterns of prayer or meditation, which is what we've been doing. We've created some daily examens recently. We really wanted to help people pray. We were found last year. It came from the fact that we found last year that we started to create a lot of prayers, and they were traveling really well. People were finding them very valuable, saving them, like sending them on to people. And we were like, actually, maybe people need some help to pray, and helping people what to pray, when to pray. So we've created 6 daily examens, which is an old Ignatius thing many, many years ago, ancient spiritual practice, actually. And we've reshaped them, kind of modernized it, done our own version, our own take on the examens, and I've put them out. And they are there as a resource to serve the community, because I really want to help people become better disciples. I've been discipled so well by so many people, and even while I'm out, I don't want to just create a show. I don't want to create a show. That's not what we're here for. I'm not jazz hands, although I am very handsy. I don't want to be jazz hands. I want to be giving content that is purposeful, wholesome, helpful, spiritual, right, biblical, doctrinally correct, like really trying to establish those patterns and cultures. So that's how we're doing it. But those 6 hooks are the thing that are working. And like I said, every single one of them has been one of the things that's been in my viral video. Let's just do a quick recap. So the hook is focusing on providing value that will innately engage them to watch further. You want people to watch your content. Listen, oh my gosh, I love you, I adore you, all you digital communicators out there trying your hardest to put together content, and you work so hard, and it's not gone unnoticed by other people that know how hard it is to put that stuff together. And like, you just think, just as I'm learning, TikTok comes along, and just as I'm learning, like there's a new platform, I cannot wait. It's an audio platform that's just about to come along. Like, all these things are shifting and moving, but wherever you choose to spend your time, be present, be available, be practice like being available, like the church should be available for people when they hit difficult, challenging times in their life. So we're living stones. Where am I now? Okay, so our Great Commission. Why do we do this? Let's just keep, the Great Commission. But so he came to me and he said, all authority in heaven and earth has been given to me. So go and make followers of all people in the world, baptize them in the name of the Father, the Son, the Holy Spirit, teach them to obey all that I have told you to do. You can be sure that I will be with you always, and I will continue with you till the end of the time. I think maybe why we don't always say things that matter really directly is because we've been led to believe that we have to scoop everybody up. We have to be able to speak to that demographic of person and that age of person and that niche of person and that things. Whereas for my read of the Bible and what I'm trying to kind of like learn a little bit more is that we have the mind of Christ, the collective we're on a co-mission. It's not me. I'm not like some mercenary on my own, like fighting the gospel truth. I'm not on there. For starters, Jesus is the carrier of the message and I am a custodian, but you are a custodian too. We're in this together. It's a co-mission. So that if you want to say things that matter better, you've got to figure out who it is that you're speaking to. Who is your target audience? Really important. Who is your target audience? Listen, as you get like more influence and as you grow in notoriety, because you will, the more you like change and adapt and learn and reshape and remold this content and get better and tweak it and improve, you will get better at communicating to your target audience, and your target audience will grow with you. So they will grow in age and demographic, and their lives will change. And over time, then you'll find that you have a broader spectrum of people to speak to. But when you're starting out, it's really important to focus on who can I speak most clearly to. I was an art teacher for many years. I did not teach science in my art lessons. I did not teach maths in my art lessons. I did not teach, engineering in my art lessons. I taught art. Because people came to me because they wanted to learn about art. That's what they wanted to do, 3D design. I was a pottery teacher. And that was my job for many, many years before I went to the church. And then when I came to work for a church, all of a sudden, I got like bogged down with the amount of people that I was all of a sudden supposed to reach. And I think depending on where you sit with your eschatology, depends on where you sit on whether you believe like what your responsibility is to lead people to Christ and towards the end times. But I really believe that I have been given a sphere of influence. I have been given an opportunity to communicate a message in only a very narrow way. I know it's narrow. The older I get, the more I realize, like, not everybody understands me. Not everybody likes me. I could be the best, juiciest, roundest peach, but just somebody is not going to like peaches. And I spent too long trying to convince people who don't like peaches to like peaches. And now what I'm going to try and find, because I really want the message to travel further. I want to say things that matter better. I have determined to find people that like peaches, and I am going to try and shape my message to people that like peaches, and then maybe I might add a few other fruits to that as I grow in influence and people understand and I get clearer and I get more confident and I get better at what I'm trying to say. So I think there does come a point when you have to just hold intention where you want to be, what you have in your hand right now, what opportunities you have, and be able to figure out. That's how you find your niche. You go, okay, what's the thing I'm passionate about? What's the thing I'm actually like educated in? What's the thing that people love hearing me talk about? And in the middle becomes what is like currently being called your niche, your audience. I think it's more important personally that you find out your audience than your niche. I think your niche changes as you get older and different things, but I think the content that we create, if we want it to go further, if we want it to be better, we really do need to be figuring out those little nuances. They're little tricks. If your content isn't good, let's be honest, it's just not going to travel. There's loads of good content out there. Loads. People have just become amazing at using digital platforms, and that's only going to get better. But to create great content, there's something that you have to add into it to make things like matter, those really important things of life, like the holiness of Christ in somebody's life, like atonement, like the way God put things right. That has to be handled with care and thought and attention. And that is the connection point of the message that we give out, is all that Jesus is and was, and how deep down we believe in that. There's loads of strategies that you can adopt, and I'm sure there's going to be loads of people on this platform, on this conference, that are probably going to give you way more nuts and bolts. And I would just want to encourage you to give everything a go. Throw yourself in, be brave, have a go. I'm 46. I never dreamed I would be learning how to vlog. I never dreamed I'd be learning how to use YouTube. I never dreamed I'd be on TikTok, like the most teenager app there is. But I'm having a blast because I'm meeting some amazingly beautiful, wonderful teenagers, loads of teenagers, all of them saying to me, thank you, your content makes my day better. I probably reach the village that I live in. I get messages all the time. I walk into my local co-op and they're proud of me because my content went wherever it went. And my daughter's school, her school friends follow me over there. And you know what they're seeing? They're seeing hopefully a healthy, wholesome adult, and everything that I do, I want to lead people back. So I have church things as well. So I'm trying to lead people back. I've got some predictions for 2021, and then I'm going to take some Q&A. Let's do the Q&A first, and then I'll do my predictions. Okay, let's do the Q. Ooh, there's quite a few in there actually. Okay, so hopefully these guys are still on here, and if not, how much planning goes into your kingdom company lives that you do with your husband, and how closely do you stick to that planning when you're actually live? We do two kinds of lives, Matt. We do the live where we would get in and we would pray, and we would just jump in, and they're very like loose. There's obviously a framework. Matt's much better at that than I am. But the Sunday lives that we do, that we've actually just moved our Sundays over onto YouTube now. But those lives that we do would all be, my section would be scripted. I cannot work with anything. Look. I need a script. I do not think in words. So everything I do is on a teleprompter or on a script, everything. Matt is has notes, and he can have bullet points and he works around it, but yet we really plan those things out. We try and make sure that we know how long each section is going to take because we want things to last so long. I think that comes from years of scheduling and planning and being a part of a church program. So, yeah, so that's what we do there. So Neil is asking, how curious to know how you disciple people via TikTok. Can you share something about the content that went viral and how you promoted discipleship? Be honest with you, none of my content promotes discipleship. That's not what I'm using for my. That's not what I'm using TikTok for. My church account TikTok, I am promoting discipleship, and we are constantly we're breaking everything down, making it small, tiny prayers, small bits of worship, things that break your day up and remind you really. TikTok's like a reminder when I use it for church. It's a reminder to pray. It's a reminder to worship. It's a reminder to take a moment for you to have a moment with God. It's a reminder that there's other things. It's a signpost. My TikTok is I'm building a community, a wholesome section of TikTok where I'm trying to embody Christ. And so discipleship comes from, then I might go live, which I do go live over on TikTok. And I'll say to people, how's your soul today? Can I pray for you? Did you know that I lead a church? We've actually had a number of people come and join our Kingdom Company community online, on YouTube especially, and e-groups from my TikTok. But I don't produce any TikTok content that is directly Christian. I just make it all wholesome. Why do I do that? I think I do that because I want to know, can I still speak to people what kind of person would I be around people that aren't in church? I spent a long time in church. I was a church leader. Can I still maintain wholesome, healthy habits whilst being in a space that is full of mainly people that aren't Christians? There's not enough Christians on TikTok. You need to know, there are dark corners of TikTok. The only way you overwhelm darkness is with light. And what I want to do is I would love to get to a space where I'm at 24,000 followers now, love to get to about 100,000 followers where I may be able to get verified, begin to create ad-related content for, other organizations that are doing amazing Christian work, and signpost people there to the work of that. So I can become a conduit over there. So discipleship for me is about the friendships that I'm building behind the scenes. I've made friends with a lady in Mexico. We're building relationship over there. I've no doubt at some point I'll be able to have FaceTimes and contact with her and making a genuine friendship. And then discipleship would come from that, in my experience. You know, I am somebody who loves to invite people to things. Pretty much every one of my neighbors in this neighborhood has been to church, and half of them have given their lives to Jesus. So I am really like up for inviting people to church, but I just like to do it in a way that is less like preachy and more invitational. So TikTok for me is a signpost, and it's an invitational moment to Jesus. So, okay, hopefully that answers your question. Ben E, really interested in your workflow. Oh, yeah, I can't believe you asked me that question. Do you create content in bulk and distribute during the week, or do you create daily? How much time do you place aside for your social presence? Follow-on question. How's your viral content on TikTok? Can you leave this question on for me, because I think I'm going to have to answer it in parts. Follow-on question. Has your viral content on TikTok resulted in a higher web traffic? No idea. Listen, Ben, I am like, if you want to help me with that, you can help. I do create in bulk. I'm a bulk creator. I have more ideas than I can create. Like, I don't know. I just have always, and I've got ideas for you. I do coaching sessions actually, because I have so many ideas. I'm like, bring me into your team and I will help them create content. I am never short of ideas. I've always had digital ideas of things that could be done and things that could be done free and cheap and interesting things like that. So really interesting workflow. Do you create content? But yes, I do that. Do you distribute through the week, daily? I do a mixture of both. I don't preload content anymore because I find that content just doesn't travel as well. So I have it all ready to go. I usually post it. Some of it I do by the feels. Am I feeling it? Is this going to hit a moment? A lot of the shareable content that we make around prayers or carousels, I'm reading a moment, I'm thinking, is that something that people need right now? So I'll create a few days before and post it out on a really optimum time. You can find out when your followers are online by, if you go onto your Instagram account anyway, it's mainly where I hang out, or TikTok, you choose to go live. It will tell you how many people of your followers are currently on Instagram at that point. That is the best way that I found to judge when people are online. Your analytics might tell you when they're online, but it won't tell you when they're engaging with content. So people might have their app open, but they might not be using it. So what I would recommend you do is that. So I try and post in the moment, but you know, don't have loads of other things on the go. We are just like that. So has your viral content on TikTok resulted in a high web traffic? No idea. I don't know how to read those sorts of things. Not interested in that. I'm more of a feeler. 2021 definitely needs to be, and I am praying about it because we would love somebody to come and help us with like how to read analytics better and create better workflows, because me and Matt are totally creatives and feelers and right brainers, and we're learning so much. So that probably didn't answer your question, but how much time do I give to it? I give a few hours a day. I limit myself to an hour on TikTok and an hour on Instagram, engaging with, talking to people, actually genuinely like befriending people. I send a lot of voice notes. I reply to every comment. I make sure that I'm involved. I see it as like a pastoral opportunity. If you're an evangelist, or if you're a shepherd, social media is going to suit you really, really well. So Dorcas, brilliant name. How do you prepare for virtual conversations, non-Christian related, and make a positive impact? I don't know. I like to chat, Dorcas, so I am never short of something to say. So I genuinely imagine I'm speaking to one person. Like if I'm in a room with somebody, what would I say? How would I speak? What would I do now? I walk my dog regularly with my neighbours, who are none of them the ones that I walk with, and then we meet down the hill sometimes in the weekend with some of the guys. There's 5 of us that sometimes walk our dog together. Real mix of like church backgrounds. I imagine I'm speaking to them when I go live, or I imagine I'm speaking to my daughter's friends, which is actually who a lot of the people are that join the lives. So I prepare by thinking, what kind of person would I want to be to that young person now? Where would I want to lead them? Do I want to lead them to me? So mostly what I want to do is I want to be the auntie that you wish you had. So that's what I try and be. I don't think they've got enough mums and dads. I'm not a matriarch. I don't want that role. I've got my own kids, thank you very much. But I'm happy to be an auntie and to be probably try and be the healthiest, most wholesome adult that you've scrolled past that day, to take the time to listen to you, to invite you into my crazy world a little bit. One thing I do like to do is to address a lot of questions in my lives. What questions have come up on TikTok? There's some great features where you can reply there. So hopefully that is. And another question, if you have time, for churches, do you think it would be better for leaders like you to be personally present rather than church profiles? Yes! Church leaders. Why are they absent from social media? It's crazy. Why are they absent? I don't understand. I have a course coming out for church leaders very soon at the end of February. I'm partnering with Digital Church Toolkit. It's called How to Get Unstuck, Show Up, and Stand Out on Social Media. I just think a lot of church leaders have pigeonholed themselves on the platform, and they probably just need a little bit of coaching and coaxing and just a little bit of time to help them understand that all that study you did in private all those years, all that time you've spent in prayer, all that preparation just needs breaking down, and it needs getting out into social media. But you can't let somebody else own your communication for you. Social media is not an advertisement platform. It's a conversation. So yeah, I would love more church leaders to show up and be present in social media. And like I say, I do one-on-one coaching sessions. It's something I had to transfer my mind to. So let me just finally, now we've got 5 minutes. These are my predictions. If you've got time, these are my predictions now for 2021. Are you ready? Clare Hooper's non-verified, just what I think's coming. 2021 is going to be the year that you need to choose your platform. You're not going to need to be present on every single platform. People are showing by the analytics, by the data, that they are going into one place. Deciding who your audience is will tell you what platform you need to be on, whether it's as a church or as a personal profile. The vehicle, the one where your target audience are. Remember that even the smartest strategic posting plan on IG will not help you unless you know who it is that you're speaking to. So number one, the prediction is that you need to choose the platform. Number two, the prediction is that you need to really selective about who your audience is, who you want to speak to. And you know what? Work with other people who are just better and more gifted and celebrate them. We do Speed Church, this thing. Do you know why? One of the reasons why I do Speed Church is because collaboratively, I want to be able to say, hey, Kingdom Company does this, but you know what? We don't do that. But you know who does do that really, really well? They do that. Go there. The Kingdom Company does this really well. And then I might say, but if you want worship like that, you're going to need to go there because they do that so well. They're so gifted to do it like that. And I think we just need to be able to share that talent and get that out to more people. Number two, IG Reels. If you're using them, it will be absolutely essential on any video to use closed captions anywhere. Like I said that as a hook, but it's going to even more grow. I think we're going to even lose where people just do not listen to the sound being on at all. I'm going to start to see a lot more videos where people don't even put sound on there. Number three, my prediction, is that number three or number four? My prediction is that short form is going to be huge. Anything over 15 seconds is going to flop. And if you have got videos that you're putting out right now, you're going to have seen your views decrease. And there's a reason why. It's because Instagram, other platforms are pushing short form content. Even on YouTube, some of the biggest vloggers that there are who have been known for doing 30-minute vlogs have been dropping them down to 8-9 minutes. So we just need to watch those trends. They do that because they read their analytics and they are crazy good at reading their analytics. You can, you know, like, you know, like when you go, like you meet somebody for the first time, this is what we do all the time. I've done it. So I'm laughing at myself in this. You do it all the time. So when you invite somebody to go out with you for the first time, you don't then spend hours talking about yourself, hour, 2 hours. Like you, first of all, you know, you do something lighthearted and you get to know somebody, and then you might go for a coffee, and then you might go for dinner, and then you might go for a walk, and then you might do an evening together. And then, I mean, like years away, you might do a weekend away with somebody. It's a conversation. So your social media needs to react like that. The first things need to be short, snappy, interesting, invitational. So that's what it is. Short form is gathering a huge pace. And infotainment, finally, I have like literally 1 minute left. Infotainment, 15 seconds on Instagram, no more than 15 minutes on sorry. And so finally, infotainment is going to crush it this year. People that can take educational stuff and put it into an entertaining way. And that's it. That is it. So thank you so much for joining me. I really do appreciate you letting me drop in on you today. You are amazing and you're working so hard, and God knows and God sees, and it's working. The things that you say, it's working. It's really important. So if you need anything from me, you can catch me at Clare Hooper or Kingdom Company _Kingdom Company on Instagram, and you can DM me. And if you did, you know, like I like I say, I offer coaching sessions. So I'm up for that. If you want to send me an email or direct message, send away. You're awesome. Wonderful people. Bye-bye.